Right, fresh off the photo shoot. I can't help but love this bike. Oh my god, I've just taken a billion pictures. So we're gonna turn it on just so we can hear the sound. It should be a little bit cooler. Oh, love this bike, I really do. Oh my god, that sounds hot as fuck. Right, I've got a little thing I want to do before we go. So I want you all to bear with me on this one, because I have a hard time explaining things using words. I don't know if it's dyslexic or something like that. Either way, I'm pretty special. I'm very special. Right, throttle control and clutch control 101. It's kind of the basics, kind of. Say, I don't know, you've just passed your CVT, you've just had your first bike, and you don't really feel that comfortable in it. I don't know, you're struggling to find your bite point, you're struggling to find out when and how much throttle to clutch, the ratio you need, and blah blah blah. Now I'm in the perfect spot here, you know. Obviously I'm not going to go on that bit because I don't have an adventure bike, and fuck that. But we've obviously got a little bit here. We're going to try and avoid that. Obviously gravel and stuff, gravel and most bikes don't really mix, so I'm going to try and keep it round here, you know. Maybe get rid of some of these big rocks. Fuck off, that was the worst kick in the world. You know, if you can't find a spot like this, car parks, shopping car parks, malls, you know, stuff that's maybe a bit less busy, maybe go to like a shopping centre after closing hours on a Sunday. Obviously you want decent weather and blah blah blah. Now it's very easy for me to say all this stuff because, one, I've ridden bikes long enough, I've passed my full test. I've had bikes for 7 years now. But obviously you've got your clutch, you've got your brakes. Now that's standard for every bike, right? That's not changing. No matter what bike you get, that's always going to be your brake, that's always going to be your clutch. You know, it's irrelevant. And you've obviously got your throttle. Now put it in gear, and then, now I'm on 1,000. Now I've noticed that 1000s, the bite point on these bad boys are way more instant than say 125s. For example, my Sinus Terrain, the bite point on that was awful. But obviously look, you see the bike moving? That's not me, I'm not on the throttle. So let the clutch out. When you feel the bike start to roll, that's when you want to apply a bit of throttle. But you don't just want to, you know, let the clutch out rapidly, because then you're going to stall it. And you obviously don't just want to whack your throttle up, because then you're going to end up on your ass. So if I go a little bit further back, because I really don't want to go on that gravel, I'll probably be fine, but I don't want to. So obviously there's my bite points. Now I'm rolling. Now on 1000s and bigger bikes, you don't even need throttle to really start rolling, right? You don't. As you can see, I've got no throttle. That is all clutch. Yeah, so I'm not even on the throttle right now. I'm literally using the momentum from the clutch to do that. Now the reason you don't want to do this a lot is because you will burn your clutch out, I believe. You don't want to do that. But on 1000, obviously I don't need to use my throttle. In theory I can do it that way. But obviously I'll just go around in circles, and then if I want to go a little bit quicker, I'll just apply a little bit of throttle. Yeah, a little bit of foot on the back brake, a little bit of that, you know. And obviously you have your figure of eights, your circles and all that kind of stuff. You're more than what, well, you can do what you want, you know, it's a free country. If you wanted to find an area like this, you wanted to practice your figure of eights, your U-turns, you know, U-turns, if you wanted to, you could do that. You can do what you want. No, I didn't trip. I did trip. Obviously U-turns are a bit more awkward to do. Please don't hit that gravel. But yeah, I mean, ideally you'd want to be doing stuff like U-turns on a surface that is a bit more smooth than this, because this is not ideal for that kind of thing. But like I say, you know, I'm doing this all on clutch, and you know, like bite point, you want to stop, I don't know, you just want to keep doing it. So you know your bite point's there, you give it a bit of throttle and you're away, and then you stop, and you just keep doing that until you're comfortable. You know, when I first started and when I taught my brother how to ride his bike, we did it on our drive, and on the road just outside our drive. And all I said to him was, you know, say I don't know, say your dad, your brother, he has a motorbike. I need to be careful as well, I don't run out of fuel. And you want to learn before your CBT or your test or whatever. Say you want to get comfortable just going up and down, back and forth, blah blah blah. Now, don't go on the main road, obviously, but if you've got a little side road, you know, maybe the road outside your house if you're not on a busy road, or tell your dad and he might take you to a car park or something like that, blah blah blah. That's a wasp. Oh, cuff wasp. And all I'd say, get your bike point, get your clutch going, and then stop. And just do that again and again and again and again. Build up the reps. Say you're playing your game, you keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, right? And then every time that you get a little bit more comfortable, just go a little bit further. So instead of stopping straight away, you know, I'll go here and then I'll stop. And if you've only got a limited amount of road, go back, do it again, go back, do it again, and just keep doing that again and again and again. You're only going to get comfortable riding motorbikes by riding the motorbike. You know, you're never going to get, you could watch a million videos on this, you know, I could sit here and try and word it to you in every language, using every word in the dictionary, but the only way that you're going to get comfortable on a bike, whether it be yours or I don't know, anything, is by doing. You got to do it. You know, you don't want to CBTs especially, you do not want to go into your CBT with nerves. You want to be comfortable. My first CBT, I will not lie to you, is I shit my pants. I did. I was nervous, I was scared, I'd never ridden anything before in my life. I couldn't figure out the gears, and I did a scooter. And then I just rode scooters around for a year, you know, because I was like, well, I'm just never going to get a hang of manuals. And then my scooter got nicked, and a Lex motor came up for a very good price, an LXR, a sexy white and blue one, and I just bought that. Right, I'm going to have to turn this off because it's overheating. Or it might not be overheating, I don't know. I don't like that sound. But yeah, you know, I just did that again and again and again and again and again, and then I got comfortable using the clutch, using the throttle. This is how I learned how to ride manual bikes. I did it on my drive, and it's how I taught my brother. What are these guys doing? They're going for a piss? I don't know, but that's the only way I can describe to you guys to do this. You know, you just need to go out and do. You don't want to be comfortable, you don't want to be nervous, you want to be comfortable, you want to be safe, happy, you want to enjoy your time on a motorbike, right? This is a luxury at the end of the day. It's a passion, it's a hobby for me personally. I love motorcycles, I love bikes with a passion, whether they're red, blue, black, you know, other than Harleys, because they're not my thing. But I'd rather you rid a Harley than drive a car, because fuck cars, you know what I mean? But you got to keep doing and doing and doing till you get there, because that's how you're going to get there. Like I said, I did this on my drive, and then, you know, like I said, you let your clutch out, so you got your clutch in, say that's your bike point, then you want to give it a little bit. Obviously I can't give it too much on this because I'm going to end up all the way down there, because it's a very quick bike. Figure of eights and circles and stuff like that, I would do it on something like that area there, which is flat and smooth. You don't really want to be doing figure of eights on gravel. And just keep at it, just keep going and going and going. If you've got a new bike and you haven't quite got to grips with it yet, go out and ride the thing. You know, even if it's just up to the shop and back, ride up to the shop, ride home, and just keep doing that. Or say, I don't know, say you're here and you're in the middle of nowhere, there's a train station that way. Say this is my house, there's a train station there, ride to the train station, ride home, ride to the train station, and just keep doing that. Just keep going around in circles again and again and again and again. You're going to get comfortable with the clutch, you're going to get comfortable with the throttle, you're going to get comfortable with stopping. You know, because riding a motorcycle is easy, and that's easy for me to say, obviously, because I can, but it's really not that complicated. What you have to worry about is trying to do things in real time, right? It's managing what's going on around you. That's the hard bit. This, you're in control of this, you know where your limit is. So if you're on a 125 and you don't like doing any more than 60, that's your limit. 60 is your limit. you just need to make sure that you're aware of what's going on around you at all times. You know, when I'm riding my bike along, I'm not looking at the Clio in front of me, I'm looking 4 cars ahead, because I know if this guy down here needs to stop, I'm going to need to stop soon. And then I can slowly let off the gas, or the throttle, the clutch, whatever. Why did I say gas? What a fuck. The throttle, I can let that go a bit, and then I can make my way off. You know what I mean? You know, side streets and stuff like that, you want to keep your eye on them, you know, because anyone can fly out of them. And at the end of the day, car drivers don't care. They don't care, you know. They're safe no matter what. It doesn't matter what they say. Even I mean, the good car drivers are the ones that also ride bikes, because they get it. But cars don't care. You know, if they pull out on you and they break your spine and paralyze you for life, they get a dent in their car, they're not bothered. They don't care. People nowadays don't care, and you need to know that every driver doesn't care about you. That's how you have to ride bikes. You have to know where the limit is and what's going on. You know, I could easily blitz up and down at 120 on this, easily, in 4th gear, but I'm not going to, because 1, that's illegal, and 2, that's way over my limit. You know, this is 1,000. I've had this for 4 hours. I could go and blitz the shit out of it if I wanted to, but I'm not comfortable doing that. And I know I'm not comfortable doing that. And I don't care if every single biker drives past me and calls me a pussy for not going 100 miles an hour. I don't care. My goal is to get home, to get where I'm going. I look sexy as fuck on this bike. Well, no, the bike looks sexy, I'm just riding it. But, you know, I want this to go home looking how it does now. I want to go home with all my limbs. You know? That's what that's what you want to do. We're not here to get hurt. Nobody likes getting hurt. But you have to ride like every car driver's dickhead, because 99.99% of them are. And that's how I've got along so far. So if there's one piece of advice I can give you anywhere, anytime, it's that. My uncle, who was killed riding a bike, somebody did a U-turn in the middle of the road. He was doing 30 miles an hour. He was doing the speed limit. He wasn't speeding. There was no tyre tracks on the road. She did a U-turn in the middle of the road. I don't know if he wasn't paying attention. I was quite young when it happened. I don't really know the full details. I just know he was not speeding. That's a fact. Hit her bonnet, went over, hit the curb, broke his neck, died on impact. He was doing the speed limit. He wasn't doing anything wrong. And this woman, she got a fine. I think she got banned for 6 months. She's back out on the road now. She could have done it 10 more times, I don't know. My uncle died. You know what I mean? So you need to know what's going on around you. You need to be careful, and you need to know where your limit is. Like I said, I can literally fly up here doing 120, 130, 150 miles an hour, but I will crash and I will hurt myself, and I know that will happen, so I'm not going to do that. So that's not all about clutch and stuff, but there's just some Mr. Acid Rides words of wisdom. But yeah, I'm going to head home now. So if you have enjoyed, please leave a like and all that. Leave a comment if you want me to. You know, I can come here anytime and make videos, so let me know. I will try my best to get down here as often as I can. If there's any kind of requests, anything you want to know, anything you want to learn. And yeah, if you do ride, stay safe. If you're into riding, or you want to get into riding, do it. It'll be the best thing you ever do. Trust me, it's mega. And yeah, as been your boy, it's In It Rides. I'll see you all, hopefully, in the next one.